Sophie's story is really starting to pick up the pace. And to be honest, a bit more quickly than I ever thought possible. When we first met, Sophie had a goal, but no plan to get there. She was focused entirely on finding Enosia. She was focused on finding her brother. Focused almost to the point of recklessness. Fumbling in the dark with aplomb. But something changed when she saved their lives. She ignited the dying embers of hope within them. She gave them the courage to fight for survival. And now, Sophie leads the way. I don't know where we'll end up, but I know they'd follow her into the darkest depths. Would I follow? If I answered that truthfully, I might just surprise myself. However, none of this will matter if we aren't careful. There's danger ahead. The next stop in our journey is that tower. Why did the rune guide her here? Well, I suppose we're soon to find out.
Lost, if you know what's good for you.
We're here already? It hasn't been much of a journey yet, has it?
Is that a bad thing? There's nothing wrong with an easy adventure. It's our first one, after all.
Yeah, but when things are too easy, I feel like something's off.
You're not gonna let a feeling stop you, right? As long as we can find a way home, I don't care how long it takes to get to that tower.
And what if we don't find a way home?
We look for another way. We keep going until we reach our goal. And that goal is the tower.
Watch this.
Hold on a second. We should probably investigate the surroundings first. Discretion is the better part of valor, after all.
From here, it looks pretty barren. Even fiends would think twice about living in that rubble.
Now that I take a better look, you're right. It's about ready to collapse. That tower in the rune had a certain majesty.
See? Don't let the high of adventure cloud your better judgment. This isn't the tower we're looking for.
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. We won't know until we check it out, right?
Right! Anything beats standing around in this wasteland. Ready?
Don't get cocky.
Well, would you look at that? Finally, a sign.
To the Tower of Hope. A little on the nose, don't you think?
So, we finally have a name. A name that doesn't really fit its surroundings. It's hard to feel hopeful with no one around.
I have a feeling there's plenty of fiends to keep us company.
Oh, you tried your best, and it failed.
Hello? Anyone here? If you're hiding, we don't mean you any harm.
You! What are you doing?
I'm Sophie. We've come here to, well, to find a way out of here. The runes showed us this tower, and eventually, the man opened up a little. He was part of a different group that came to the tower after seeing it in a rune. But they weren't here for the same reason we were. They didn't care about going home. They were here to fight. Their mission was to repel the warrior of despair, who was foretold to bring ruin to this world. They called themselves the Keepers, and they would defend the tower at all costs.
This tower's name is no accident. It's the last bastion of hope for Palamecia. We have sworn our lives to defend it. It will not fall before the very last of us does. And not a single person here would say otherwise.
That's pretty impressive.
We are in dire need of capable fighters. Our captain Marsalis will surely welcome you with open arms. He can usually be found patrolling the area.
I had no idea this tower held such significance. That it would inspire such fervent loyalty. It takes dedication to devote oneself so fully to a single cause.
I won't deny their courage. But did you see him? Did they ever sleep?
So, what's the plan, Chief?
I'll go and meet with this Marsalis. Try and get a better feel of the situation. You guys rest here.
You got it.
Ah, haven't seen you around here before.
Yeah, I guess you could say I'm a new arrival.
Another brave soul. Our ranks swell by the day. There's no telling how many runes are out there. The Warrior of Despair doesn't stand a chance.
No, that's not why we... how should I explain? You see, the runes did guide us here. But we're not here to fight. We're here to find a way back to our own homes.
You got my hopes up for nothing. We don't need half-hearted volunteers. One weak link could spell our doom.
Then it's a good thing we're not here to join you, isn't it? As we've already said. And you act tough now, but how will you act when the Warrior of Despair comes?
We'll act with courage. We'll show no mercy. We're the only thing standing between this world and despair.
For such a grand name, this tower sure is run down. Stones missing here, piles of rubble there. You can barely even maintain it.
And its defenders are even more ragged.
Watch it.
Except for you, I guess.
You don't know what it's like. The fiends are relentless. We can barely sleep, let alone perform repairs. We try to make it like the one in the rune, soaring, majestic. But we...
Wait, you're trying to recreate the tower? I thought you were defending it from the Warrior of Despair. So why do you need a tower in the first place? What makes this any different from any other pile of rocks?
What are you talking about? We're building the tower because it was in the rune. It needs to be a shining beacon to lure in the agents of evil from near and far. And finally, the Warrior of Despair will come.
Yeah, but if you really wanted to take him down, wouldn't it be, you know, a better idea to bring the fight to him? Maybe you could even catch him off guard. Besides, there's no guarantee he'll ever step foot in this tower.
You...
I think you hit a nerve there, Sophie.
spirits seem low, no matter where we look.
Well, they're building the tower while fighting off an army of hungry fiends. There's no time for them to be happy. There's barely time to sleep.
And this place is supposed to be a bastion of hope. You can't live on ideals alone.
Looks can be deceiving, you know. An exhausted face can hide a hopeful heart. And laughter can be a mask for despair.
Hey there, you doing all right?
All right.
How long have you been working? I might have just arrived, but anyone can see this isn't sustainable. How are you gonna celebrate your victory when you're exhausted?
Celebrate? What?
Yeah. What else would you do after you defeat the Warrior of Despair? The world will be saved. You can do what you want.
What I want? I hadn't even considered that.
Huh?
Our lives revolve around fighting our enemies and building the tower. There's no time to think about anything else. Build, fight, build, fight. Every day the same thing. How long have we even been doing this? It's hard to say. More fiends. Well, enough rest.
Sophie, there you are. Your reputation precedes you. I am Marsalis, elected to lead the Keepers in defense of this tower.
I told him about the long string of events that led me here to the tower. My departure from the village, my meeting with Echo, and the visions of the rune. Everyone, rise and fight! This tower is your hope, our hope! Defend it! We have to fight, and we have to survive! And then, we can go home! And so we're here. Long story. All of us are looking for a way home, and the tower seemed like the place to start. If you have anything that might help us, any tiny bit of a clue, we'd be grateful.
I must say I admire your determination. Your journey must have been fraught with danger. That is why it pains me to say I cannot offer you the help you need.
What do you mean?
We all gathered here for one reason and one reason alone. To fight. This place is as much a home as anywhere else we know.
But what will you do when this all ends? There must be someone you want to go back to.
No, not that I can remember at least. The Dark Flood washed away all of our memories. This tower is all we have.
Ah, right. I'm sorry for being thoughtless.
There is nothing for you to apologize for, Sophie. I would be lying if I said I was not envious of your journey, your purpose. With no memories of home, the visions of the ruins are our world. If we had what you do, things might be different. However, someone must defend against the Warrior of Despair. It might as well be us. None will say the Keepers did not give every ounce of themselves to their mission.
But it's like I said before, the fight can't go on forever, right? Right?
It does not matter. It has not ended yet. And the trials in front of us are many. We must focus on that.
I see.
Still, I hope your own mission succeeds. If you wish to stay with us, you may do as you please.
Thank you, Captain Marsalis.
Well, it doesn't look like we'll have any luck here. No point in hanging around. It's a bit sad. I've come to like these guys.
Me too. They look so exhausted on the outside, but they're completely devoted to their work. I don't understand where it comes from.
They just have a different philosophy about work than you do. They treat things a bit more seriously.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't exactly call myself serious.
The Keepers all have a shared purpose. That's what keeps them going in the face of hardship.
Really?
The Dark Flood washed away the very things that made them human. Without memories, without a purpose, what were they? When you forget what you are, you forget why you're even alive in the first place. The runes helped fill that hole in them. The stories they showed restored what was taken away. They decided to fight for hope until the last man. Do not fear death! And all that. I can't help but wonder, is it worth it? Does devoting your life to fighting others really make you whole?
I don't know. They seemed ready to die for their mission. It's all a bit grim if you ask me.
Maybe they're not looking for a way to live, but a way to die. To give their lives in the name of hope. That's the tale they've chosen to be a part of.
Sounds like a sad tale.
The fiends are closing in. We'll be overwhelmed if we can't drive them back. Will you help?
Sometimes it's best to take a step back and assess the situation. Figure out what you can do and what you can't do. But I know Sophie. She would charge forward no matter what. I guess that's part of her charm.